And you're very welcome back to the Lads Podcast. Thank you for sticking with us while we've been away. I'm Daragh.
And I'm Daragh as well.
Are you?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, you look like him.
How's it going?
Fucking goodbye. Tipping away. Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, I don't know the rest.
Spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. Yeah, back to spaghetti now.
Yart.
Back to Squingili. You know?
Squingili.
Yeah, just back on the grind. I've actually been quite chuffed with the whole 3Me nonsense because I've had my first ever video to hit 1 million views. But it's on TikTok, so it doesn't count. Because that's just an app for kids, isn't it?
Talk about Daragh. Talk about Daragh. Yeah. Talk about that, Daragh. Talk about how that's an app for fucking kids.
Yeah, just kids, no one else.
So 1 million views.
That's class.
How much? Let's say if we were to compare, like, let's talk about views on different social media as currency.
Jesus,
right?
okay. Yeah.
So TikTok views currency. What would that be in Facebook?
You can't really compare them because they're all so different. Like TikTok is the current now popular video content app. More so than YouTube. YouTube is YouTube, but YouTube is its own thing. It's not for the newbies and the people growing. So everyone's on it. Everyone's growing. The algorithm is fair. And a video of mine, it somehow reached 500,000 views, and I was like, "Whoa, this must be it!" And then just about 2 or 3 days ago, it reached 1 million. So it's great, but I
definitely know you from somewhere.
I'm the million views guy.
Fucking cap, the cap you're wearing.
This is a cap.
It's a cap now, yeah.
It's a cowboy hat, boy.
No, it's a cap.
It's what?
It's a fucking cap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of, for now, in a sense, it is just kind of bragging rights. I'm like, yeah, a video with 1 million views. Like, if I'm trying to talk myself up for a job or something else, I'd be like...
a video with 1 million views.
Yeah,
I can make a class toasted cheese sandwich, you know.
Yeah,
it's grand, it's the same thing. Can you?
No.
What would you do with yours?
I put it in the bin.
You're better off.
But no, I'm proud and I'm chuffed, and TikTok, my followers on TikTok was like, Tip Top has like
Tip Top, yeah.
Yeah, has like doubled, so it's great. It's just a good bit of validation. It's like, hey, you're all right with what you do. Keep going. Because it's funny because this happened 3 years ago with the It parody on YouTube that we made.
What?
And what? You're in it.
Boy, that was 3 years ago.
Just your body. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't exist if it's that old. And I was like, oh, this is it. Off I go. I'm going to be famous. In 6 months now, I'm going to be a rich and famous YouTuber.
That happened.
That did not happen. So look, it's all about your 15 minutes of fame that happens once a year.
A guy said to me at work recently, he was like, "Hey, are you the fella in the Duck Do video?" And I was really aware that, like, you know, we'd go like to town and stuff, and sometimes people would be like, "Oh, you're in the videos since kind of 2017." And he'd be like, yeah. And then I was always safe at work though. No one at work, construction workers and stuff, they just weren't like on the same circles as us or something.
Sure.
You know, I felt like it was all kind of like.
But then we made a sketch that is like literally aimed at construction workers.
Duck Do, exactly, yeah. So like, no, I heard that. Are you in the Duck Do video? I was like,
nah.
I was like,
that's someone else.
Like, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, no, it's not me at all. But then someone said recently, was like, aren't you TikTok famous? I was like, oh fuck.
You are, boy.
You are. You fucking drag me down. So that's that.
Yeah, just great, bye. We're fucking two young men. No, we're not young. You're 26. Lads, why didn't you wish Steve a happy birthday?
I'm actually fucking livid at all.
That's disgraceful.
Every one of our 300 and something followers, why the fuck didn't you send me a happy birthday message?
It's not like they didn't know.
Yeah, you clearly knew, like.
But it is good to be back. Last 2 weeks were a bit hairy-fairy, but we're back to our roots. And this week's episode, as you can tell by the title, is on Irish diaspora. Now, I've been calling it Diaspora for the last few years.
I do as well.
It's apparently Diaspora.
No, it's Diaspora, yeah.
And I know because we were just kind of looking back on podcasts that people have liked and done well, and we were like, hey, let's do something that's kind of close to home.
Yeah.
Diaspora.
Let's do something that's close to home, which is people leaving
home. Hey,
yes.
People are leaving Ireland. They've been leaving Ireland for fucking centuries. By
people have always been leaving Ireland.
This isn't a new phenomenon. This isn't because of Fine Gael.
Yeah,
as much as we want to think it is.
This is since the Brits' time of their rule in Ireland.
Oh yeah,
you know. So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, famine, boy! Famine is when." The reason we all left. It's not though.
It's pre-famine.
We were always fucking off, man.
Yeah, because actually, if you really want to look further back in the Middle Ages, so from like about 700 to 800 AD, a lot of Irish missionaries were booting out of our Catholic country to go spread the good word
of the Lord. Okay, is that true? Yeah.
No, I just made it up. No, I just made it up.
I thought you might have
fucking lie. So we used to be going around telling people that Jesus is classed, basic class.
He is though.
I know we're kind of talking about it just because like it's still very, very real. As in like kind of every generation of kind of young people in Ireland, they finish school and go, oh, what's there for me here? Shag all. See you later.
Yeah.
And off we go for work. And our current governments and governments of the past are fucking happy out.
Oh, there, yeah.
Them neoliberal fuckers are just like, that's grand. Yeah, go off and be a nurse in England. Yeah, go off to Australia for some construction work. It's grand for them because it's less people to fucking worry about. Yeah. Let all the young people fuck off and immigrate and not vote us out of fucking power.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry for getting so political, but you know.
It's truth, lads.
It is.
But
let's take it back a bit. I'm jumping a little bit ahead.
Tell me about pre-famine talk about the 19th century kind of immigration, Daragh. Before the famine, no, like.
There was bits. Give
me the bits.
From 1700 onwards, so it's the 18th century. Between 9 and 10 million people born in Ireland had emigrated. That's a fair.
Between 9 and 10 million had emigrated.
And living.
Between what years? Sorry.
After kind of, I think by 1700 or around 1700. So we have been booting it away like
that wasn't that long.
So
ago.
I guess look, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, the famine, the old genocide.
We'll get to that though. It's the Brits, you see, wasn't it? The Brits gave us such a hard, like the penal laws, you know, gave us Catholics in Ireland such a awful time.
We'll talk. Look. The famine, it's there, it wants to be talked about.
Will we just go straight to the famine?
We'll go straight to famine, and then we'll talk about the stuff that maybe we're not as aware of as the famine. Because look, we all know the crack with the famine. We're contractually obliged by the famine, by the British Empire.
The famine itself wants us to talk about it. So.
It does. We'll talk about it, but then I think there's also some facts that I didn't know about where we ended up around the planet.
How many spuds did we eat every day?
£40 worth, £10 worth.
£10 worth.
Yes.
Well done. Do you know what you win?
£10 worth of spuds. Yes.
Yes, if you'd like to just congratulate Daragh there for his £10 of spuds.
Thank you.
You just want £10 of spuds there.
And look, if you want £10 worth of spuds, just head over to patreon.com/the lads podcast.
You got there before me.
Sign up and support us on Patreon, and we'll send you £10 worth of spuds.
We will actually. That's one of the new tiers. If you sign up for €600 a month, you get £10. If someone did pay that much, I'd absolutely send them. I'd feel like have as many spuds as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll talk about that in the morning.
£10 of spuds because spuds had the sufficient nutrients and stuff to keep you.
Was there protein? Alive. Is there protein in spuds? I don't think so. There's loads of bits that you need.
Yeah, it has a lot of micronutrients, you see, and it obviously has carbs and fat. Yeah, I don't know. Does it have much protein, man? Let's just say I didn't look this up, but let's just say there's a bit of protein in it, maybe enough.
You want a final answer? There's protein in spuds.
Oh God, yeah. Look, there's protein in spuds. Quote me.
If he's wrong, we are officially spreading fake news. But sure, look, it's 2020. You can say what you like.
You can say what you like, yeah. And I'll fight you. It's grand.
And he'll fight you, I guess.
I'll fight you. It's okay.
Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah. So, loads of spuds. Yeah. That's how many spuds we ate. Brilliant. I just interrupted you because I thought that was a lovely point about how much spuds we ate.
It is.
Basically, so we can talk about the famine.
The what?
The what? Do we have to go into the reason why?
No, look, you know the crack with the famine, I guess.
The Brits.
The old, the British genocide.
The Brits.
We had food, but they were like, no, that's for us, not you.
Thank you, disgusting Paddy.
Yeah.
Disgusting animal.
You should.
That is beyond the pale.
I'm recommending everyone I speak to watch Black 47. It's like Ireland's only Western movie.
Oh, it's class.
Like, it's shot.
So good.
It's gorgeous. It's well shot, but it's our first ever famine movie. We don't have any.
Is it?
Yep. We don't have any films set in the famine.
Why were we just not allowed? Was that the Brits again?
No, it was a sad time, man. And like, what kind of story are you gonna tell? So they tell a very gritty Western, neo-Western. Well, yeah. But we're on about emigration, the diaspora.
Yeah, that was obviously where the biggest.
So Steve, did we fuck off? We did.
Boy, we fucked off. So 1 million of us died from the famine, and 2 million emigrated in less than 1 decade. We had about 8 million, actually more than 8 million.
We still haven't reached pre-famine population.
We're one of the. Don't quote me on this. I saw this on Twitter, so it's probably bullshit anyway. Okay. And I saw this months ago. I think we're one of the only countries in either Europe or the world. I forget what it was, but we're one of the only countries in a certain part of the world, or maybe the world. Don't quote me. It's the Lads podcast. It's your last 2 brain cells. This is bullshit. But we're one of the only countries that has a lower population than it did in the 19th century. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why. Because we have just under 5 million now, whereas we had over 8 million then, and that was according to the census. It could have actually been
way more, exactly.
9, you know what I mean? So it's funny, but it is also, it's our thing too, man. It wasn't just the famine. We've always been fucking off, like.
We have.
Because we've been so horribly oppressed for so long.
Yeah, but I think it's just important to address the kind of the most obvious one.
Yeah.
Actually, so I was looking into a bit of the famine, a bit of our diaspora. So about 1855, so about 2 million of us headed off to the US, and we weren't liked. We were, you know, as the saying goes, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
Literally the same as they're going to take our jobs, you know.
Plenty of things.
Fucking drunks.
But I looked into it. Yeah, we had a very bad name. We weren't liked. Now, obviously, that we grew out of that. But
they like us
there
now.
was an American political party called the American Party, and they really just wanted WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, to be in power. They didn't want the paddies climbing the ladder. So they used to actually go to like Irish Catholic like neighborhoods, incite riots, start fights with Irish people, start baiting the shite out of them.
Class.
And if you were asked to be a member, if you were asked if you were a member of the American Party, they would all say they know nothing. And they became
the know-nothings,
They became known as the know-nothings.
Yart.
I think that's very interesting. And once you see what happened then was they started electing like Irish mayors, and the Irish started climbing the ladders.
Literally, yeah.
And they were like, all right, the American Party was like, okay, they're kind of integrated people like them. Let's move on to another ethnic minority, and they started going after the then Chinese and Eastern European immigrants.
Actually, and I didn't know that because we were Catholics.
And because they were Protestants.
Literally, and they thought that we'd take over and make a new Vatican in Cincinnati.
What
the fuck, like?
We are.
Do you know what the two of us are going to do?
The two of us will.
We're not religious or anything.
Your last two brain cells will.
Your last two brain cells. We should call this the last two brain cells.
I kind of wish. I know we decided on the lads podcast, but I think this would have been way better as your last two brain cells.
Lads, like, we're probably not going to do it, but just let us know. Would you
like
us?
Overwhelming desire for us to change this podcast name to the last two brain cells,
or your last two brain cells, or something of that, something around that.
Maybe
let us know if so many people want it, we'll consider changing it.
Patreon.com/ your last two brain cells.
Imagine, it rings well. Do you know? Can we go off topic for a second?
We can, of course, boy.
Can we?
No, we can't. Okay.
So we were on our staycation, and one of the lads.
Who doesn't hang out with us often.
Doesn't hang out with us as often as, you know, every day, like you and me pretty much would, like.
Aye.
And literally the two of us were just doing our usual crap, like, we're all hungover, and we were just...
You can't tell if we're fighting, if we're having a normal conversation.
Oh, you were usually fighting, to be fair. I'm usually genuinely like, fuck him. Like,
shut up.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff. And he just kind of laughed and just said, two of you are just my last two brain cells.
Because he started laughing at it, and we were like, what, this is just how we talk. And we forget that people aren't used to this absolute nonsense carry on.
It's pure nonsense. Like,
it's great.
So we had to make it into a podcast. So anyway, the Catholics were going to go over and make a Vatican in Cincinnati. Me and Daragh are going to do that.
We are.
If you want to support us to do that, patreon.com/ the Lads Podcast.
We got it in. Yeah, just on that, I suppose, guys. Independent podcast, no sponsors, no nothing. We put a lot of effort, a lot of time into it. Yeah. I don't even know what week we're on. 14, 15, 20?
Episode 14.
Oh, episode 14, because the last one was a special.
Oh, so 15, week 15.
Week 15.
That's 2 times in this podcast we plug the Patreon.
Well, man, this could be 10 more.
There's 2 more. Yeah, well, look, there's 2 more coming this time.
But yeah, no, genuinely, look, if you're appreciating what we do and you want to see it continue, we'd appreciate you emptying your pockets.
Yeah, or I'll fight you.
Or Steve will literally... Threats of violence from Steve Collins.
They will happen. But you know what, a thing why they started to like us as well, was actually... we're back on topic.
We're back to the podcast.
Just
sorry
in case you think we're still talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's all we fucking do. But our love for a drink, you know. First they were like fucking paddies. Look at them falling around the floor. Nuts, like. And then that ended up, though, all the Irish-owned pubs, I guess, was just class for business. And they were like, you know, there's loads of Irish pubs around America.
It's how the Irish became integrated. Antiquity.
What the fuck were you gonna say?
The Royal...
No, 1 second there. What the fuck was that?
Antiques Roadshow.
What?
What's it? The Antiques Roadshow? Top Gear.
Oh.
The Stig.
Oh,
The In-Betweeners 2.
Okay. Right.
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Are you wearing a cowboy hat?
Yes.
Have you been wearing a cowboy hat this whole time?
Man, they're listening to the podcast. They don't know I'm wearing a cowboy hat.
If you're not watching the podcast, if you're listening,
no one's watching it, man. How would they watch it?
Fucking hell, if we could get in topic, this would be class. So,
man, there's plenty more to cover.
So Dara's wearing a cowboy hat because he thinks he's American. He thinks he's an Irishman in America in 1853.
I'm just like getting engrossed in
Vibing.
character.
Yeah.
Well, I am just vibing. You know me, I'm always vibing, but I'm like, no, I need to be there. Need to be an 18th century.
Fall around the floor there drunk, so you're not putting any fucking Vatican in my Cincinnati.
I won't.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, big diaspora, and I suppose now that like the generations have, bred, there are a lot of Americans that call themselves Irish Americans because their great granddad was Irish.
Can we? I know we're going off topic a lot here, but it's kind of it's okay.
It's part of it.
Look, as you say, it's the lads, the last two brain cells having a pint in the pub. It's
your last two brain cells having a pint.
Yeah, like it's the best thing your last two brain cells could use their last brain energy for is have a pint.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill them, like. So after this podcast, we're gone. So do you get me?
I do. I got it.
It was funny, wasn't it?
It was hilarious.
I know. I wish I was on the ball. If you were there, lads, if you were there, it'd be funny. You have to be there.
Cool.
What the fuck was I on about? Lost my marbles.
We're back.
I've lost my marbles. Oh man, I think I was going to say something that was
about Irish Americans.
Oh yeah, you know the way that's the common thing that kind of annoys us as genuine, actual Irish people.
Yes,
your nation isn't like in your blood. I like maybe to a degree, but it's where you grow up. Yeah, you'd agree with that?
I would agree. An Irish person is someone who was born, or at the very least, was raised in Ireland. Yeah. Then you're an Irish person, and if you can't claim to be, I have no problem with Irish Americans saying that they're Irish American. You're like, my relatives are this.
Oh, yeah, that's
because
fair.
anyone from any country would say,
Oh, no, that's totally cool.
But it's like, I'm on like a lot of Facebook groups that kind of take the piss out of these real kind of typically like kind of like far right, really racist Irish Americans that call themselves Irish and are like, this Black Lives Matter stuff, well, us Irish were slaves, and
fuck off.
so let's just squash that myth for a second, because you never know, I remember hearing it in primary school, like we do talk about it, and then it's actually it is relevant to the podcast.
Yes.
We were exported, we were indentured servants. Generally the Brits would kind of sell us on, and it was like slaves, but the thing is we could work our way out of it,
our whiteness,
because of our skin color. And it wasn't it wasn't it wasn't generationally how they did with African slaves. Was your child would become a slave and their child would become a slave, whereas you would kind of be an indentured servant for like 10-20 years, and then you're not. And some of these people even went on to become slave owners themselves. Now, there's a book that we've heard. We haven't read it, but it's been recommended by people we like, Blind Boy, for example. So the book is How the Irish Became White by Noel Ignative. I'm not really sure the pronunciation, but
I've actually been meaning to give that a spin for the last 2 years.
I can't read.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have to learn to read first.
That's the
I've been
thing.
learning for 2 years. I'm still not good enough.
I was a mad reader, and then I suppose the internet, and I get my content from podcasts, from videos, audiobooks if I really want to read it. But
discover Audible.
I have discovered Audible in the past.
Your attention span is just gone.
I can't sit down with a book. But if you want a book, I suppose How the Irish Became White, because
if you want a book, we'll give you a book, lads.
Whatever you want.
The lads podcast book.
Fucking the Mr. Men books.
Yeah. The Dandy.
Or the Dandy, yeah. The In-Betweeners 2.
Oh yeah, the novel.
Yeah, Arkham City.
Yeah.
Where else do you think we've moved?
Yeah, you had a bit of.
Did I?
Yeah, there's so much of us around the world. For such a small island, such a small country, we've a decent cultural footprint, lads.
Yeah, from such a tiny little country on the west of Europe.
Now again, this is like Irish, what's Irish and all that, but like Republic of Ireland, we're over 4 million. Northern Ireland is 1.8 billion. United States is 40 million.
Like people who are Irish American.
But I guess Irish American.
Irish American, yeah.
United Kingdom is fucking 650,000 first generation as well. Australia 7 million, Canada 4.5 million.
Are you saying first generation?
Yeah, in England, excluding Northern Ireland.
Okay, so not America.
No, that was in the United Kingdom I'm talking about.
Okay, so sorry. Yeah. Cool.
Argentina 500,000, Chile 120,000, New Zealand 600,000, France 15,000,
and this is all
just Irish
descendants of Irish people,
because there couldn't be that many Irish people.
I was like, what?
How did we manage?
They're made in a lab.
We are
the Irish people lab.
You heard it here first.
See, that's what's in the attic of Irish bars all around the country.
Yeah.
Is a lab making Irish people.
Yeah, they churn out about 10 a day.
They do, in fairness.
It
and
works,
if it's a bigger pub like in a big city, they could get up to 20 to 50 a day.
They do, but then they have to have your season. It's seasonal too. Like they have to let the upstairs of the pub fallow. You know.
Yeah, we're very good in the winter because it's kind of where we're used to. We're used to the cold. The summer,
we like to be born in the winter. That's the crack. Irish people, we're
made in a lab.
We're clones. We're all fucking clones.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say clones. I would just say just like. A lot of DNA, a lot of DNA splicing. So they're making original people.
Yeah.
They're not clones of you or I, but they're just...
That's basically the crack. So that's
what are you on about?
Maybe that's why everyone loves us. Did you Google? Because I did. Why does everyone love the Irish? I didn't really get a specific answer.
I know, you tell me.
But it is a known thing, isn't it? Everyone fucking loves us, like.
Because we're sound.
Because we're fucking sound.
And crack.
And we're made up. Yeah, that's it. Which we actually talked about before. We're made in labs, though. That's the reason why.
We're genetically made to be likable.
Yeah. It's just a bit of sugar, spice, and everything nice, like.
And then Chemical X.
And a bit of Jameson. A bit of Murphy's. A bit of Guinness. And
a bit of fried halloumi. Lovely.
A bit of fried halloumi. Lovely. And that's how you make an Irish person. Don't try making an Irish person at home, please.
No, it has to be in a lab above an Irish bar in outside of Ireland. They tried it in the country.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work.
No, it's in Area 51. What? I didn't get into it there. Oops.
Okay.
If you'd like to find out how to make an Irish person...
Patreon.com/The Lads Podcast. It's one of the tiers. So Steve, if you to guess, just guess one random country where else we've ended up.
Argentina.
Fuck, I wonder how you knew that. It's probably because we were talking about it beforehand.
Argentina.
Tell me what. You know who ended up in Argentina a lot? You know,
Roy Keane.
Really?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Okay, a big diaspora. Nazis.
Oh.
Loads of Nazis fled to Argentina.
We didn't go too well with them, did we?
No, they kind of just snuck in and became farmers and stuff. Literally, because the Nuremberg trials were happening and they were like, get the fuck out of Dodge because I'll be executed for my war crimes.
Yurt.
But we weren't executed for our war crimes.
None.
Because we didn't do any. Let's see. Yeah, in the 19th and 20th century, 38,000 Irish people emigrated to Argentina.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, there was actually very distinct Irish communities and schools that existed in the Perón era, an area I assume until the 1950s.
Really?
And today they're an estimated, as you said, 500,000 people of Irish ancestry in Argentina.
Jesus. You kind of wouldn't think
there's probably more, right?
Right.
But because we were technically Britain at the time, a lot of people would have declared themselves as British.
Well, yeah, literally. That's the thing.
And then when that's sat down on paper, it's kind of lost to the ages.
Fuck. So that means the 40 million in America
could be way more because they might have said we're British. I guess you never know.
Jesus, we just loved riding, did we? So much of us, like such 8 million. Think about it in the 1800s. 8 million fucking people on that mini island. I drove around that island, Daragh, last week.
Did you?
You know what I mean? And it didn't take that long. It's a small country.
20 minutes.
It's like I drove the perimeter of Ireland in 20 minutes. Small enough, like.
Bermuda.
And there was so much of us.
Bermuda.
What about it?
We ended up there as well.
Where the fuck is Bermuda?
In the Bermuda Triangle.
Is that over the sea?
You know what I love, though? This is a tangent, guys. I'm sorry. We... not directly, but from the documentaries and books we were reading in primary school, like... I had such a fear of the Bermuda Triangle as a child. Oh yeah. I was a big man for my. I was a big man when I was a child. You know,
massive. Actually,
I was a massive.
6'2".
I shrunk into my adult years, but I was mad at my documentaries.
And
I loved the Bermuda Triangle and full on believed that it was just you go in there, you're not coming out.
I still believe that.
Yeah, I do as well.
I flew over. No,
did you?
No. My parents
you wouldn't have because you'd be dead.
My parents did.
Yeah, I think it's just been hyped up because there's been lots of crashes and storms and stuff and planes go missing. But I full on, I thought it was just this like empty, desolate area of the world that you do not go through. I'm like, that's probably bad enough for tourism.
It's so it's so fascinating. Yeah, how did all the Irish end up there?
Because mid 17th century POWs, prisoners of war. So keep in mind, we all usually just think famine and stuff, but we've been having rebellions day one. The Cromwellian rebellion, I think, was around that time. I'll come back to it. I think that might have been later. Okay. But there's been there was the Wolf Tone Rebellion. There was loads of failed ones before 1916, which was technically a failed one, but lit the spark.
Yeah.
But yeah, prisoners of war, we'd always be shipped off somewhere. Big one, the biggest one being Australia. That's the one.
Australia.
Brain forgot Australia for a second. But yeah, Bermuda. And fun fact, there's a flower that exists in Ireland only in County Fermanagh, right, on some edges of some lake.
That's Northern Ireland. Is that in Ross Trevor? So is that in Carlingford Lough?
I don't know. But
right. Sorry, go on.
The Bermudanian, maybe something like that. It's a flower that only exists in Fermanagh and in Bermuda.
Fucking.
Because I think we probably brought it over and stuff.
Fuck.
So isn't that cool now?
Hell.
You only see that flower in 2 places in the world.
Fuck. Your man is on fire with that.
It's cool. Fun facts.
It was all about that now.
Yeah.
Fucking fair play to
Bermuda. So yeah, we prisoners of war sent out. And we were we actually became quite troublesome to Bermudan slave owners.
Oh, we'd be up
to
trouble, all right.
So yeah, we were sent over in the 17th century, and we were sent over again to Bermuda after the ill-fated Young Irelander Rebellion of 1848. So mid-famine.
Okay.
Brits were like, no, off you go to an old prison camp, prison whatever, and off to Bermuda.
Right.
Now, where else has our diaspora taken us?
France.
Probably. Puerto Rico.
Oh.
This is completely new to me now when I was looking into it, so it's cool. So during the 16th century, many Irish immigrants were known as wild geese.
Okay.
You know why? Because we were escaping forced servitude in the English Army or the English Navy.
Yeah.
What they would do is they would jump ship as they passed through Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And join the Spanish Army instead.
We do run around like geese as well, don't we?
We do look like... You have a big goose head on you, don't you?
Big fucking goosey nose on me.
You.
And a fucking horsey face.
Big horsey face,
big fucking... Sorry, go on.
And we jump ship from those boats from the English boats to the Spanish boats and be like, yeah, I'm not serving the Queen or King, whoever.
Can I ask you... You're a fountain of knowledge today.
I am, boy.
Can I ask you, would we be able to make any of this relevant to why I'm 100% Irish, but I look like I'm from Spain or somewhere?
Okay.
This
is an interesting one.
Would this be something to do with this, or are we going with Spanish Armada? Like,
that's I think the latter, Spanish Armada, and now this could be just completely false. We're not geneticists. We're nothing. We're your last 2 brain cells, really. But I think this is a hot take I've heard over the years. I haven't looked into it, but I think what happened was, because you see a lot of people with, we'll call it your skin complexion, not mine. I am your stereotypical pasty, pale, Irish person, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that look like yourself, in which you have very dark hair, if not even, people would call it black, a darker skin tone than I. And I think the hot take, I haven't looked into it, is just what I've heard over the years, so, just keep that in mind, guys, is that I think a lot of Spaniards stayed in Ireland when they were invading, was in the 1600s or something.
I think it was, yeah. Sometime
around then, the Spanish Armada and all that
they
crack.
Started breeding.
I think, a lot of Spaniards stayed here and started families, and for all we know, you could be a really long descendant of a Spanish man.
Happy days.
Yeah.
I cope really well with the heat.
But that's the thing, you tan and you so hard.
Yeah.
You don't burn.
I'm so hard, like.
Oh, hard man, like. Hard, telling you. And then whereas I burn like fuck.
Yeah. The light up there is.
I'm getting. That's why I'm wearing my cowboy hat.
Is that? Oh, that's why, is it? Oh, this is not. I thought this was just your new look. No.
Well, it is as well.
Yeah,
guys. Please leave a comment on our web zone if you want me to continue wearing the cowboy hat.
I think you should for the whole duration, the rest
my life
of the podcast and your life. In bed, when you go for a swim,
go for a shower.
When
I die.
When you die,
buried in the cowboy hat.
Don't worry. When you die, I'll make sure that's buried.
Thanks, boy. I appreciate that. Now you'll be dead as well, man. We're dying together.
Who's dying first? Like,
it's a good one.
Who do you think is dying first, lads?
Guys, leave a comment on our web zone on who's going to die first. I'm gonna go back on topic anyway. Puerto Rico. Yeah, a nickname we were given was Red Legs.
Really? Because of our burnt legs?
Literally because we're the pasty white skin getting burnt in the Caribbean.
Jesus.
Is Puerto Rico in the Caribbean?
I'm going to start calling you Red Legs.
Dubai. Red legs.
Red legs too.
Red legs. And then many of these men who served in the Spanish colonial army in Puerto Rico remained in the service of Spain after their military service was completed and decided to stay on the island. However, I think there was one point in which I think the Puerto Rican government were like, yeah, we don't want the fucking Irish anymore. And they were like, yeah, get the fuck out. Let me see. I actually have a fact here. So in 1797, the Spanish governor of Puerto Rico, Ramon de Castro, ordered the expulsion of the Irish from the island.
Stop.
And this immediately led to protests from the Puerto Rican people since they had grown to respect the Irish immigrant community for their steadfast support of the island's residents. So fair play to the Puerto Ricans. I love this kind of spond anyway. So it's nice. And then a lot of people temporarily fled, and I think they came back then because there was a witch hunt set up by the government for the Irish. After the famine, many Irish people turned to Puerto Rico after they were turned away from the US because they were just like, nah, there's enough Irish, fuck off. So they went down to Puerto Rico again. So this is about, it was about 100 years later after all this carry on was happening. And the Irish got very stuck into the very successful sugar industry. Local sugar industry. Now when I say sugar, something in the back of my head goes, slavery.
Yeah, so exactly.
We could have gone down and become slave owners, but
fuck,
that's as much as I read into it. And you're getting a very surface level story of it, guys. So
so go tell your teachers this is fact.
That's what I learned on the
lads podcast.
The last two brain cells.
The last two brain cells podcast. Changing the name.
Yeah, boy.
Fuck it.
Loads of it. Puerto Rico, and Argentina.
Yeah, that's great. And we're still fucking off constantly.
We're still fucking off.
Canada for 2 years.
Yeah. Australia Canada's for 10 years.
Australia, and a lot don't come back. Yeah. I mean, a lot of our friends have fucked off.
Yeah, or even our wider circles, people went to school with and knew growing up and, are all living.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'm now getting to the point of the year in which all the Australians are heading into our summer, we're heading into our winter, and it's crap outside here. It's actually quite nice right now. We're getting the last of the summer wine,
Yeah.
But they're having their 32 degree heat. I'm like, oh cool, I'm just gonna die.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do instead of 32 degrees. Just die. You can't fucking stop us. We're like wild geese. Let's sum up this, right? The Irish are like wild geese running around the place.
Okay.
Just can't keep us on this fucking island.
I think...
Don't tell me I'm still on that feckin' island.
Literally. I think from what I learned is a lot of it comes from the English occupation.
100%.
We were either... So it looks like we were either, kicked out of the country. This was our prison. We were sold. Maybe we were prisoners of war. Maybe we were just looking to escape. That's what the research really says. So the Irish diaspora stems from that. But it's still going on. And it's just because, I guess, there's not a lot for everyone here.
The Irish we're very fucking happy and crack, but we're also very sad and miserable because of the
post-colonialism.
Yeah. Our music, like, it's so fucking beautiful, and our poetry, it's so, and it's all that, like, isn't it? It's pure. Bring me to America.
Get me away from this British rule, this crap times.
Landlord.
And I guess what it is now is it's as a result of neoliberalism.
Yeah.
It's the government's just being like, right, we need money. Okay, yeah, pharmaceuticals, American tech, brilliant. Come in, great. Money. Hooray, we're not poor anymore. And then, for the typical person, it's like, okay, I can either have a great career as an engineer or whatever, but it's like, what else is there for me here? We're a small country with small industries. It's hard to do a lot of things, so people go abroad, and sometimes people just want the change.
Yeah, I think that's it more than often, though, man. It's a bit of soul searching and a bit of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to... Maybe it's...
I need to travel.
I'm on this little island, this little country.
That's the thing. It's very small.
Do you know what it is? Like, this is pure, like... I don't know, subconscious, collective unconscious, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
There's nothing, people are just unhappy, and then they're like, look, I'm not doing anything here.
Yeah.
And you go abroad, and maybe you find yourself, maybe you don't. I know, I've heard of both. I know people who haven't. I know friends that are currently abroad and living their best lives, and I miss them, but they're living their lives, and I'm happy for them, but it does suck that a lot of friends have to move away.
It sucks because I don't want to move away. Like, I like the idea of going somewhere for a couple of months, maybe
a couple of years,
after COVID,
a couple of decades, maybe
forever.
Die abroad.
Maybe just fucking change my accent altogether.
Change my name.
Fuck it, why not? Philip
and Joffrey.
Kent.
Joffrey.
Okay.
Jeffrey.
But your first name is actually Kent, but your middle name is Jeff.
But I go by Jeffrey.
But you go by Jeff, you know. But so then when they get to the airport, they're like, "So Kent? Oh, it's Jeff.
Oh, yeah. I go by Jeff.
Yeah,
it's actually Jeff. Funny story.
Jeff, yeah, my parents were hippies. But cool. Yeah, that's the crack. Will we go to the audience?
We will. So, as we do every week on the Lads podcast, we reach out to our beautiful audience and ask you a question or ask for a story. Now, this week, we asked, where would you go if you could go anywhere? So, Steve, where are people looking to go? Where are we off to today? Right, well, sorry guys, actually, a big announcement because Steve was not able to get the questions up. It looks like I'm reading them out this week.
He's fucking power moving me, boy.
I really am, boy. This is like, you're gone. One more week now of this and you're...
It's just going to be Daragh next week on
the One Brain Cell podcast.
The last brain cell, like.
Someone wrote in and said, Wales would be taste. Great roads, scenic. Shoppa is siop.
Oh, yeah. Shoppa is siop.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
And they've Tesco. It's practically Ireland 2.0. Okay, Wales. Would you move to Wales?
Or fuck it.
So we'll basically read out what you say and we'll see if we'd agree with you. Wales, I wouldn't, because I think it's just quieter and smaller than here.
I wouldn't move anywhere, man.
I'm staying here forever, boy.
Staying here forever, boy. Cork till I die, Kings of Cork.
Okay. Another person said, I've lived in America, Asia, Australia, and after all of it, I've settled in Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a popular one. I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Should we move to Edinburgh?
We go to Edinburgh next summer.
Maybe.
Stay tuned, lads.
Yeah, there's myself and Steve are devising plans to maybe do a little bit of exploring of the world.
We might do a bit of emigration of our own, lads.
You never know, we'll see.
Just for a little bit.
The conversation started though.
And we said we'll go together so you can have your fucking podcast.
And because we've never lived together, we probably never will. So might as well. Okay, Mars, and a few people have written in saying Mars because Matt Damon was there.
Nothing happening in Mars, lads.
For now.
So go to the west of Ireland if you want to go somewhere where nothing's happening. Like.
Yeah, well, Mars, man, fucking be one of the first colonies, you know, on the red planet, with Elon Musk and all his and a bunch of millionaires and billionaires, you know.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be great fun.
Yeah, probably die as well on the way or way back.
Yeah.
Another person has written in and said Spain or Portugal because the people are attractive and chill as fuck.
Cool.
Bit of a generalization.
Portugal's very nice.
Portugal is very nice.
I prefer to Spain, I think.
Really?
Well, I was there once and I thought
I've never been in Portugal myself.
I've been to one part of it, like, so I can't really judge.
But apparently all the people are attractive and chill, so
yeah,
it's good.
I didn't see someone who wasn't attractive. Everyone was attractive and chill as well.
How convenient.
So chill and so attractive, every single one of them.
Next person says Italy. I hear they make fair decent pizzas over there. Well, I suppose the pizza does come from Italy. I assume, we all just kind of assume. Yeah. Where did the hamburger come from, Steve?
Fuck, I know this. Not Hamburg. Italy.
Incorrect, Hamburg.
Really?
Literally, it's in the name. Fucking dope. You're gone, man. This is your last podcast.
So thanks for listening.
Next person says, has to be somewhere warm because it's warm. That's it. That's my answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I lived in Spain for summer of 2018.
Yeah.
And it was great to be in a warm country.
Okay, cool.
Not have to worry about the weather.
Yeah.
You do kind of miss wearing pants. I will say that. I'm a man who likes wearing pants.
Yeah.
And when you're just wearing shorts and underwear all day.
Pantsy man there, lah.
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Carrigaline.
Who said that? Out them now. Who the fuck said that?
RNF Design.
Fucking RNF Design. Then why didn't you move to Carrigaline?
Yeah, you moved to Carrigaline, so
come on, Aaron.
See what it's like.
See.
Another person saying Mars is looking pretty attractive these days.
Lads, I don't want to hear any more about Mars.
What about Venus? Apparently there's life on Venus now.
Who's
even though it's NASA or whoever the fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is it? Elon Musk? Is it him? Is he up there?
He's the life on Venus.
The life on Mars or Venus.
No, there's a few cells or some bits going. Yeah, but the thing is, Venus is really close to the sun, so you wouldn't have a good time.
Imagine Mercury.
Well, that'd be great. There. Yeah, just melt.
Great.
Just fucking melt. Switzerland. Okay, so someone says Switzerland, like Ireland, except there's seasons. That's true. We have 2 seasons. Spring and autumn, and they're both wet. Very safe country. Likes their watches. It's part of the EU. Dairy goods are cheap there and the good quality, and the air is the best in the world. I've heard it's very expensive though. Switzerland is deadly expensive.
I was in an airport in Switzerland once, and I can attest that. Yeah, went to a Burger King this a couple of years ago. We were in Constance, which is on the German-Swiss border. Yeah. So we were there for a karate European competition, and I remember the burger cost something like €15. Was it euro or
would have been, yeah.
was it the whatever currency the Swiss use? I guess it is euro. Anyway, It was crazy, and I was like, "What the fuck? Just the burger now, not the meal."
Yeah,
it's mad. Like, so anyway, I won't be going there.
Okay, brilliant.
Thanks.
Another person says, anywhere but Louisiana gets hammered by hurricanes and straight up not having fun. I think that's one of our American listeners who is currently probably in the midst of one of their yearly hurricanes.
I hope that's alright for you, lad.
Yeah.
Or lass. Lad is gender neutral. I hope that's alright for you, lad.
Yeah, fuck that. Sorry to hear. Hope you're staying safe.
Aye.
Canada for the wildlife and scenery.
And
all wildlife and scenery here.
And all the Irish over
and
there.
And all the Irish.
You know?
Because we're all there, apparently.
We are.
How would you move to Canada? I would only move job for if like I was offered a fucking, I know, a 6-figure job, and who's going to be doing that, you know? I'd know, but, yeah, I guess. But I'd move anywhere if you offered me a load of money. Anyone would say that, you know?
I don't know. Not permanently.
Don't have an interest, yeah.
I'd like to reside here.
Someone wrote in saying, I'm moving to South Korea this month for my job. Well, best of luck with it. Hope you listen to the lads podcast over in South Korea and tell all your new South Korean colleagues and friends.
Tell them all.
They'll be like, what the fuck is this nonsense? Okay, Australia, because of weather, cricket, and the fact that they speak English. I guess look, that is handy to move to a country.
Spiders though.
Yeah.
Spiders and snakes. It's not happening.
No, they have big spiders.
Fucking hate spiders.
I can't even take the little ones.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine redbacks just crawling up the walls.
Big fucking dinner plate spiders that'll jump in and eat you.
Yeah, spit web and climb up to you like.
Absolutely
Spider-Man be running around there as well, like.
Yeah, fucking Peter Parker. What's he doing in Australia?
You're
from Queens, boy.
Queensland.
And finally, we have someone saying New Zealand. I feel like it's Ireland on steroids. I would agree. I would agree with that scenery wise, because when we were up
Ireland on steroids.
When we were up in
Ireland on mushrooms.
When we were up there on the old staycation up in Donegal, not in New Zealand.
You were on mushrooms?
I wish. No, I don't.
He does.
No, like, it was just, I remember being like, this is picturesque. This is something like, it's like a diet New Zealand. It's like a small version of New Zealand. But yeah, New Zealand is stunning. I really like the sounds of their culture. They seem to have good. Jacinda.
Their government seems cool,
is their prime minister. She seems cool.
It's a good country.
I'd live in New Zealand, but it's also very far away.
Yart.
If I was to emigrate, I'd like to be within a cheap flight from home.
Yeah, that would be a big thing for me.
Gun to your head, where are we sending you by?
I don't know. Spain.
We're in Spain.
Valencia.
Very good.
Thanks so much, lads, for listening to
what about me?
Lads Where do you want to go, Daragh?
Isle of Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to die in the Isle of Man.
Do you?
Yeah.
Fuck, we got to arrange this. So
I went there once when I was 13.
I'll be killing you soon. Okay.
There wasn't much going on.
That's what you want. Not much going on.
Nothing. Just like my head.
Yart. Right. Thanks so much for listening to the lads podcast. See how I took that off you because you read out all the things?
Yeah.
Fair enough, isn't it?
That's not a bother, boy.
If you like what we're doing, support us on Patreon or just tell your friends.
And if you don't like what we're doing,
just do it anyway.
Just support us on Patreon,
literally,
I guess.
Fuck it. And tell your friends, tell your dog, tell your mum and dad, tell your nan, tell everyone. Just fucking write it on graffiti around the place.
Graffiti it on the wall. Listen to the lads podcast.
And that's really shit graffiti too.
But make sure that patreon.com/the lads podcast is
very
eligible.
Clear. Yeah.
We
very
want
clear,
people to see that.
So that's all you have to do. Otherwise, we'll fight you.
We'll see you next week for more podcast goodness. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like us to talk about on your last two brain cells talking about,
and let us know. Do you want us to call it the Last Two Brain Cells podcast? Right, lads, we
could always rename it. We'll see.
We could. I have to go to work, so we better go.
All right, go on, lads. See you next week.